Don't you have a preemie baby to worry about? Take care of your baby before they end up unalived. Gypsy Rose, I know this is you. By the information you provided, and because who else would send this kind of ret to a baby?
Yes, Gypsy's behind it, but she gives them a list of who she considers is pretty much a list of people she doesn't like, and they are going after them. And that is confirmed. She is paying extra for it. And I mean, I don't know what else I can say without getting in trouble.
Y'all do the very things to people y'all complain about you don't like done to you. In retaliation, matter of fact. So what you're doing, bro, is bullying.
Gypsy Rose was fighting with that one creator and was talking about her son. Yeah, so to Gypsy Rose, kids are not off limits.
Okay, so you have to hear this. It's so wild, I can't even. You remember Gypsy Rose Blanchard, right? The whole crazy story about her mom faking illnesses for years, and then Gypsy got her boyfriend to kill her. Oh, yeah, that Gypsy. Well, apparently her name is back in the drama spotlight, and it's darker than ever. Like, buckle up, because this is next level insane. So there's this true crime YouTuber, Lauren Shree, who's been talking about Gypsy's case for a while, breaking down the whole thing, facts, speculation, everything. And get this, she gets this super creepy comment on one of her videos, threatening her baby, like her actual infant child. The comment literally said something like, "Don't you have a preemie to worry about? Take care of your baby before they end up unalived."
So I wanted to do an update on the unaliving threats I received on my infant yesterday. Yeah, I know. And if you missed it, here it is. Y'all, I cannot say for certain, and I want to put that caveat, that this is Gypsy Rose or her stans or her fans or her cohorts.
United Nations. How freaking sinister does that sound? It's giving straight up horror movie vibes. And the internet is freaking out because no one knows if this is just some unhinged fan of Gypsy or, wait for it, Gypsy herself. Like seriously, people are speculating she might be behind this, and you know her history, right? Back in the day, she manipulated her boyfriend online to kill her mom, so now everyone's side-eyeing the possibility that she could still be orchestrating shady stuff from the shadows. But wait, it gets crazier. Another YouTuber, Ivory Rose Grows, is saying she's been harassed too. She didn't get specific about the threats, but it's basically turning into this massive drama where creators covering Gypsy's story are getting targeted. The whole true crime community is shook.
Y'all they got some sneaky ass people playing in the middle just to fuck with me. Sneaky ass people. So if you're gonna be against doxing and bullying and all of this stuff, be against it. Don't pick and choose for your friend.
And Lauren isn't taking this lightly, which, duh, who would? She went straight to Gypsy's parole officer to report the threat, and she even contacted law enforcement to track the comment. Like, she's making sure this is all on record, and apparently they're even tracing the IP address to see where it came from. Can you imagine how terrifying that must be for her, though? I mean, her baby was threatened. It's beyond messed up.
But utilizing my freedom of speech, I can say that I do feel this is a little Gypsy-esque. Nonetheless, it will be investigated. I contacted all facets of law enforcement that I thought should be involved just to cover all my bases. I did receive an email back from the supervising officer that told me that this will be absolutely investigated. But I do want to say thank you to all my friends that have reached out to me, the creators that have commented and shared. That really means a lot. This is just, there's no words. And a lot of us are mothers. So it's almost like that. You come for one, you come for all when you talk about the babies, Like, what? And I just thought of something. Remember when Gypsy Rose was fighting with that one creator and was talking about her son? Yeah, so to Gypsy Rose, kids are not off limits.
Now, the internet is totally divided. Some people are like, no way this is Gypsy, this is just some crazy fan trying to protect her. But others are like, well, considering Gypsy's track record, this wouldn't be the first time she's pulled something manipulative. Honestly, I don't even know what to believe anymore, but this whole thing is spiraling out of control. Like, how does one person's name attract this much chaos? Gypsy's life is literally a magnet for drama, and even when she's not directly in the spotlight, her name just stirs up all this madness. It's insane, right? What do you think? Do you think Gypsy's actually involved, or is this just some obsessed fan going too far? Either way, it's so messed up. Oh my god, the drama just keeps getting crazier. So you know how Lauren Sri is already dealing with that terrifying threat about her baby? Well, now it's like the internet is in full meltdown mode. This whole situation is becoming such a stark reminder of how dark things can get when fandom turns into obsession. I mean, this isn't just about someone trolling her. It's about people crossing every imaginable line, and honestly, it's scary. Here's the thing that gets me. Lauren could have just backed away from all this, right? Like, I wouldn't have blamed her at all if she decided to stop covering Gypsy's story to protect her family. But nope, Lauren is seriously fearless. She made it crystal clear that she's not backing down. She's standing her ground and showing everyone that she won't let fear silence her. She even said, "I'm from Texas, I'm not scared of Gypsy."
Gypsy Rose was in trouble with her parole officer, Josh Becknell, for things like this, for things exactly like this, and much worse. And I have Josh Becknell's email address. You think I'm scared of you? Baby, I'm from Texas.
I mean, how badass is that? She's not letting anyone intimidate her, not even with such a personal and horrifying threat. And her audience? Oh, they are rallying behind her in the best way. People have been flooding her comments and DMs with support, fellow creators, fans, even random viewers who've never interacted with her before. Everyone's like, you don't mess with a mom's kid. It's become this huge unifying moment for the true crime community. Lauren even said something along the lines of, when you come for one of us, especially when it involves our babies, you come for all of us. It's such a powerful sentiment, and it's making people even more protective of her.
But I do want to say thank you to all my friends that have reached out to me, the creators that have commented and shared. That really means a lot. This is just, there's no words. And a lot of us are mothers, so it's almost like that. You come for one, you come for all when you talk about the babies, you know? Like, what?
But of course not everyone's on her side. Can you believe there are people out there blaming her for continuing to cover Gypsy's story? They're saying she's basically inviting trouble, which is such a ridiculous take. Like, hello, she has every right to talk about this case. It's not her fault some unhinged people don't know how to handle it. Plus, her reporting is actually really thoughtful and brings important attention to these kinds of cases, so the criticism just feels unfair. So how does Ivory respond to this? Oh, she just live streams herself driving past the Blanchard house. I mean, can you even? She was basically like, look, here's proof I live near them. But instead of squashing the drama, it made everything so much worse. People were like, girl, what are you doing? Because now it's not just internet beef, it's real life tension. Driving by someone's house, even for proof, takes this whole thing into a new, way messier realm.
About them looking for my address. That was, come on now. Like, everybody's seen and heard. A lot of people messaged me about this girl. So, there you go. So it looks like Ursula was full of shit. If you don't know who Ursula is, I can't help you. I mean, you just look at the picture. But yeah, I wasn't full of shit. She was.
Honestly, the whole situation is turning into this chaotic saga of internet obsession, boundary crossing, and seriously questionable decisions. On one hand, you have creators like Lauren standing strong and refusing to let threats silence them. And on the other, you have people like Ivory, who are so determined to prove themselves that they're escalating things into real-world confrontations. It's just wild how this Gypsy Rose drama keeps evolving. Like, every time you think it can't get more intense, someone throws gasoline on the fire. I just can't look away. What's even going to happen next? Do you think this will all just blow over, or is this the kind of situation that's going to explode into something even bigger? Because honestly, at this point, nothing would surprise me. Now, this is where things start to get really sketchy. Gypsy is on parole, right? And as a convicted felon, she's not even supposed to be near firearms, let alone allegedly sending someone armed to go intimidate someone else. If this is true, it could be a huge parole violation. But here's the kicker. Gypsy is now flipping the whole situation, saying that she felt threatened by Ivory's drive-by sex tapes. And as you can see, it literally turns out to just be a parade by 1,000. She's trying to frame herself as the victim in all of this, which just makes everything 10 times more complicated. Like what even is this situation anymore?
I was able to get in touch with the parole officer. Actually, the person that's taking the calls, okay? So I'm supposed to be receiving a call back from the parole officer. Just we'll see what happens. But they are well informed now.
But wait, it gets even darker. After the drive-by, Ivory claims Gypsy and her partner Bree started targeting her personally. According to Ivory, they somehow figured out where she works and info she says she never shared publicly, and then they allegedly drove past her workplace. Can you even imagine how creepy that must have been? Like having someone you're covering online show up in real life? That's a whole new level of intimidation. And the thing is, this isn't just some random incident. Gypsy and Bree knowing private details about Ivory's job feels like they went out of their way to dig into her life.
About them looking for my address, that was, come on now. Like everybody's seen and heard. A lot of people messaged me about this girl. So, there you go. So it looks like Ursula was full of shit. If you don't know who Ursula is, I can't help you. I mean, just look at the picture. But yeah, I wasn't full of shit. She was.
For Ivory, this whole thing has gone from just creating content to feeling like she's living in a thriller movie. But of course, as with everything involving Gypsy Rose, people are split. Some are totally supporting Ivory, telling her to take legal action, while others are straight up accusing her of making the whole thing up for attention. Like, how is she supposed to deal with all this? Apparently, Ivory has already filed 2 complaints, one with Gypsy's parole officer and another with federal authorities. But here's the worst part. No one seems to be taking her seriously. She says one officer basically told her she brought this on herself for talking about Gypsy. Can you imagine being told that after feeling so unsafe? And Gypsy's parole officer, they're reportedly not even following up on the allegations. Like, what's even going on here?
Hypocrite. Liar. Y'all do the very things. Y'all do the very things to people y'all complain about. You don't like done to you. In retaliation, matter of fact. So what you're doing, bro, is bullying.
This lack of support has left Ivory feeling completely vulnerable. She's still trying to share her side of the story, hoping to shine a light on what she says is harassment and intimidation from Gypsy's circle. But a lot of bigger creators are hesitant to touch her story, worried it might just be a ploy for clout. That skepticism has left her feeling isolated, and honestly, it's taking a toll. She's not backing down, though. She's still speaking out because she believes it important to expose the lengths Gypsy and her crew will allegedly go to silence critics. But at what cost? This whole situation has clearly affected her mental health, and with so many people doubting her, she's constantly trying to prove her credibility. If what Ivory is saying turns out to be true, it could mean big consequences for Gypsy. Harassment, stalking, and intimidation, especially by someone on parole, are serious legal issues. But for now, it's just this chaotic storm of accusations, counterclaims, and unanswered questions. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what to believe. Do you think Gypsy could really be doing all this? Or is Ivory just getting caught up in her own narrative? Either way, it's all so messy, and I feel like it's only gonna get worse. Like, where does this even end? So here's where things stand. There's still no clear resolution to all this chaos, and honestly, it's just left everyone, including Ivory and her supporters, in this limbo of uncertainty. The harassment against Ivory has really escalated, and it's such a harsh reminder of how risky it can be to cover controversial figures like Gypsy Rose. It's not just about speaking your truth, it's about navigating this minefield where public opinion flips in a second and the systems that are supposed to protect you just don't always step up. Whether Ivory's claims will actually lead to anything concrete is still a huge question mark. If investigations prove her allegations, and if Gypsy is found to have orchestrated or even been involved in these threats, the fallout could be massive. We're talking serious legal consequences, new charges, extended sentencing. It could completely derail whatever progress she's made in rebuilding her life after prison. But for now, it's all just speculation. And, of course, the public is as divided as ever. Some people are like, yeah, Gypsy could totally do this, look at her history, while others think it's way more likely that her fans are acting on their own. Either way, it's a mess. It just shows how much Gypsy's past continues to cast this huge shadow, making it hard for anyone involved in her story to move forward without drama. Honestly, though, it's kind of wild how this whole thing has become such a reflection of the darker side of true crime fandom. People get so invested in these stories that they blur the line between curiosity and obsession. And this whole situation, it's like a live-action version of that. Anyway, who even knows what's coming next? Whether it's more twists in this saga or an actual resolution, one thing's for sure, people are going to stay glued to this story. And that's a wrap on today's deep dive into this wild drama. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe Ivory's side of the story? Or is this all just another layer of chaos? I want to hear all your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this story or other juicy content. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and remember, online drama is never as simple as it seems. See you in the next one.